All right, what's going on, y'all? It is now episode 2 of Back in the Desk. If you have not watched episode number 1, make sure you click the link down below in the description bar. Y'all, we are week 2 of class, and come along with me as I submit some more of my assignments and get to be a better educator than I actually am, okay? Because I am A1, as my students say, or if anybody else talks about me, I am an amazing teacher, especially a black male math teacher. But yeah, let me know what y'all want to talk about within Back of the Desk. I have 4 more episodes to film, and we are in week number 2 of Back in the Desk. Come on, let's go. All right, so it is Friday. Happy Friday to all of my educators. Listen, this has been a weird week, okay? We've had President's Day. We've had a day in class. We've had a snow day. We've had a 2 hour delay. And now we have this random Friday. We actually had to work a full day, aka bare minimum, okay? But anyways, this is week number 2 of Back in the Desk, episode number 2, as I said in my introduction. And I wanted to share a little bit of what this week's assignment was doing. Again, there are no kids in here because clearly if there were kids in here, I couldn't do this, okay? Because they would be attempting to be all over the place. But this week we were kind of instructed to engage the learner. Different ways we can engage the learner, and that is by a hook, like we're hooking something, like hooking a fish. How are we gonna throw out our rods, hook our students, and reel them into different instructions? So today I did a quick lesson on adding and subtracting equations with variables. We know that variables are just simply letters within equations. So it could be x plus 2 is equal to 4. We know that that x is really 2. So 2 plus 2 equals 4, or x is equal to 2. All right, so that's what our students were doing. I don't know if you all can see this or not, but if not, just follow along with me, okay? So, different ways that I hook my kids. Sometimes I do different stories. I give them different real life situations that they may be going through. This week we're keeping things balanced. So my 2 things that I was keeping balanced, I had 2 pairs of socks. I had a pink pair of socks and I had a blue pair of socks. And in those socks, one of the pairs of socks, I had it kind of weighted down with something. And so I engaged my kids. I said, hey, think about, why do you think this sock is heavier than the other? Students were yelling out answers, calling out answers. Hey, maybe there are marbles in the sock. Hey, maybe there are rocks in the sock. That is why it is unbalanced. And so with equations, there's sometimes you have to do what's on one side of the equal sign on the other side of the equal sign so they can stay balanced. So whether you're subtracting 2 from both sides, whether you're adding 2 from both sides, that's how I kind of engaged them or reeled them in, hooked them into the lesson. The other part that we were doing today was also laps. This is something that can always be done in the class. I have a classroom roughly, as I said in the last episode, of maybe 30 to 31 students. So me being almost 6 foot tall, going through desk at least 3 to 4 times, it ain't gonna happen. All right. So the thing that I utilize is I always pretty much have, I know y'all can't see me, but I usually have a clipboard, which I don't use because this is just extra. But I usually have my, what they call an exemplar. The exemplar is usually just the answers, or you fold it up and you see what you can write down or where students are struggling at. So usually I'm coming around and I have my color changing pen. I don't have it. Hold on. Y'all can still hear me. I come around with my color changing pen. Y'all remember these from the 90s? We used to get these in like different prize boxes. But I usually come around and I move my blue down, and so I'm writing in blue, and then y'all know what red means. Wrong. So I come around and I check for students' understanding. So I'm walking around, I'm maneuvering through desks, I'm looking over their shoulder to see, hey, are students engaging? Are students understanding? Are students picking apart different problems to help them solve it? Or they're just sitting there being a bump on the log and I'm not babysitting them? Sometimes I'm babysitting them and have to wear them out. academically, but most of the time they're at least trying to follow along with the lesson. So let me show you what I'm going to be doing, or how I kind of do my laps around my classroom. The first lap, again, I am just checking to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, because I teach sixth grade and they get off tests just like that. Them brain cells be going back and forth. The second lap, or the second time I'm moving through the desk, I am looking for, are they understanding what's going on? I am simply doing quick corrections. No, I'm not going to stay at a student's desk for 5 minutes and teach them what I taught in my lesson, but I'm seeing if they get it. Usually that third lap, students are engaging with me saying, hey, I have the problem correct. Check mine, check mine, check mine, check mine, check mine. So let me flip the camera around. If y'all could see how I have this thing, don't even worry about it. But again, there are no students in here. I'm going to flip the camera around and show you exactly how I do my laps kind of within the class. Okay, so hold on. All right, so I'm going to show you how I do my laps. So usually I start pretty much on maybe one side of the classroom, pretty much in the back, and I start to weave my body within the desk, and I have my exemplar, aka my answers, and I have my pen. So usually it is on blue. My first lap, I'm just going from desk to desk, just making sure that the students are working, because like I said, them brain cells, they be braining, and a lot of students just be sitting there doing absolutely nothing. So I'm going through the desk, I'm checking just to make sure students are maybe on the right page, maybe students are understanding the questions. That's all I'm doing. I'm not looking for any answers. I'm just walking around commanding my class, okay, as I am feeling like I am teaching boot camp. Now, the second time, when I am going around, I am looking for, are students working and understanding? So come on with me. Let's say I'm starting over here. So I am got my color changing pencil, or color changing pen, whatever you want to call it, and I am looking, okay? You need to circle your variable. Okay, you're not writing down the problem. This is the formula. Here we go, right here. Do you see how I did it on the board? Do you see how you did it in your workbook or your notes? Okay, let's correct that in this. And I'm moving on to here. All right, you're doing a good job. Okay, make sure you're writing that clear. Here we go. All right, okay, you got it. Here goes a check. Good job. Now that you're finished, let's work on this problem. All right, I see you not working, so I'm coming to you next because you're sitting there talking. All right, so then I will migrate over here to this student that maybe was talking. All right, why are you sitting here talking? All right, I see you talking because you don't have A and B done. Do you understand A and B? No? Okay, let's quickly work through. You got 30 seconds. All right, set it up. Bam. I'm migrating back over here. Okay, good. You understand? Okay, this is the understanding corner. All right, so good. All right, check, check. All right, make sure you label this. Make sure you label that. All right, this looks good. It's a little sloppy, and you write on the back of my paper. All right, so that is what I'm doing during that second time. Now that last time, after that, walking through all 30 of these desks, your boy is tired, okay? So usually a lot of students are raising their hand. Hey, 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 sir, Mr. Kids roaming the hallway, unsupervised. Usually by that third time, students are understanding. So they're usually calling me over to their certain desk area, their certain section of the class, and they just want me just to check it. I did not know how students felt so proud of you taking a red pencil and checking it. Back when I was in the days, when I was in middle school, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, God, dog, a long time ago, how just simply checking simple things made them feel good. And that's what a really good thing for me is, letting them know that, hey, I see you. Hey, I know that you're understanding and you're processing the information I'm gonna give you. So when I get home, I'm actually gonna show you what I did in my other class and how we were doing week 2 in that class. All right?
EC, ML, and TD learners. There are different supports all within the plan that really help it come full circle, right? I know that when I first saw the slides, when I was in a second grade classroom, I was like, half of what the lesson plan asks us.
All right, listen. As y'all saw, stuck in class. Y'all, class, the first session from that 8:30 to that 10:30, them first 2 hours, It is a dread, okay? But then, like the last part of the content class, or the second part of the class, that 12, no, that 11 to 12:30, it go by super fast. Um, so with that being said, I am gonna enjoy this beautiful day. It's 50 degrees here in Charlotte. I am about to head to Target, and before y'all type y'all little fingers in the comments, say, Elliott, you're not supposed to be shopping at Target. Shut up. Or excuse me, be quiet, okay? Or voice level at a level 0, because Target is my store, and I'd rather spend my money at Target than other places. But anyway, about to go run this little errand, get out the house a little bit, enjoy my Saturday. I might start on my assignment, but I do need to actually close out and tell you exactly what my content assignment was. We talked about a hook and what we did with our laps or our rounds, whatever I called it. But I need to actually show you what I did on my actual culture plan. All right, so as promised, first of all, I'm not going to even tell y'all how late it is, but look, lean on in and let me talk to you. So, as promised, I was going to tell you how my second class went, where it talked about more of the classroom management, more of the procedures versus the actual content. So, week number 2, we were supposed to kind of like plan out how we were going to roll out our classroom systems and procedures. So, things as far as entering the classroom, exiting the classroom, how students were going to do that. I'm looking down at my computer. Transitioning from class to class, classroom participation, personal needs, Chromebook, and also cell phones. So let's get into how, not how I started, because I've always rolled out this. It wasn't something new. But I love my kids to come in quietly. I don't care how or what went on in another class or what went on in electives, what went on in the morning. You coming up in there quiet. Um, Students are expected to read the board. That's why I have either my entrance ticket, my due now, all of my materials of what you need, saying, hey, today we're doing lesson 6, unit 5. So you would need your Chromebook, your workbook, and a pencil. So that's the only thing that needs to be on desk. So nothing else needs to be on your desk. And also just paying attention to what I need for you all to do when you're coming in my classroom. Again, I teach 6th grade, so they're not elementary school students, so they can't, we're not going to go there. They're 6th graders, so they are in middle school, so they're like the freshmen of middle school. So they're a little bit kind of new to everything as far as following prompts or following directions that are more structured and that are more mature. So it is kind of a little iffy some days. They kind of come in or attempt to come in kind of crazy, but they're quickly redirected. Exiting the classroom, I believe that I dismiss you. The bell doesn't dismiss you, but usually I dismiss. Tell them to pack up, tell them make sure there's nothing on my floor, on my tables. If there is, pick it up, because usually my room is pretty much clean and smelling fresh. Just give them a cue to exit directly out of my classroom. Don't mingle. Don't walk to nobody else's desk or table or area of my classroom. Walk out that door and transition to your next class. So my school, or my team, is broken down into pods. So we have a pod 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm at the bottom of the hallway, and also we're broken into teams. So there is an ELA teacher, a math teacher, and a science and social studies team. So all of our kids are pretty much transitioning kind of like in either a square or either like a triangular shape. They're not really moving from the bottom of the hallway up to the top, or from the top all the way to the bottom. Everybody's pretty much staying in the same area. So sometimes my math and my English classes are moving directly across the hallway from me. So there's no reason why you should be at the top of the hallway or you should be all the way at the bottom of the hallway when you're just going, as I call it, across the street. So transition to your next class quietly, or you wait on the lockers until that class is dismissed, and you come in their classroom. Now, what goes on in their classroom, that ain't my classroom, but we're talking about my classroom. Classroom participation is encouraged in my class. I love for them to be creative thinkers, to I call it pick your brain. So I might give them another question outside of what is in the textbook or way is on another worksheet. I always tell them to pick your brain. So my students, I tell them turn their brains on. So literally, I be like, crank your brain, turn your brain on, and let's critical think. Um, Sometimes I maybe give classroom participation points, but more than likely, I really don't. I'm that teacher that is, it is what it is. Personally, staying in your seat with almost 30 kids in each block. I have a second, third, and fourth block. They don't be moving around too much unless they're doing like partner work within their assigned area or assigned section of class. But getting up, walking around, throwing stuff away. I don't know what it is about middle school. They can't just leave something on their desk. Oh, I need to throw away a piece of paper. Just leave it on your desk and throw it away when you are dismissed. But ain't nobody getting up. Just simply raise your hand. Chromebooks, um, not unless I assign you an assignment on a Chromebook, whether it be a Bluekit, whether it be a Kahoot, whether it be something that is on their Canvas, which is like their online portal, or iReady, which is kind of like their data tracking to help them kind of build their skills or excel their skills. Same thing. Um, your Chromebook shouldn't be out because they love to play games. And we do have a program where we can log in to our devices and literally lock up their Chromebooks, whether it be for 5 seconds, 30 minutes, or it's locked until I unlock it. And we can also block websites as well. Sixth graders, they do have phones, but my sixth grade, shockingly, I really don't really see phones out. So kudos to me. I know last year we did have a big problem in eighth grade with cell phones in class and sneaking and texting and all that kind of stuff. But our sixth grade hallway is very, very strict on cell phones as well as our school. But that is pretty much everything that I learned or that I'm rolling out or rolled out on this paper. It's been a procedure or policies or classroom culture plan in my classroom since day number one. So it wasn't really nothing new, just physically finding it and then writing it on paper was kind of like the new thing, or writing it in this document and upload it. So if you have any suggestions or if you learned something new from episode 2 of Back in the Desk, make sure you leave those comments down below. Make sure you are subscribed. So hit that little subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Leave some comments down the bottom. And I will see you all next week on episode 3. So there are 3 more episodes after this one, episode 3, 4, and 5 of Back in the Desk.
And half of what I needed to do wasn't what was in the slides. So